Hi, so we've started my round with goof ups, and two of them. I'm so glad all of y'all are here today. To introduce myself a little bit, my name is Aneri Shah. Education-wise, I've done BMS, I've done CS, I've done MCOM and CFA. So I've got a finance background, and I worked with a financial management company for about 4 years. I joined my family business around 5 years ago, and it was because we were in talks with a venture capital fund. So my father told me, "Oh, you're doing managing finance for everybody else. Come to our company, help me out." I was like, "Okay, great. Let's do that as well." I entered, and we had to and fro with the venture capital fund. But you know how these guys are and how they can be, and they pulled out at the last minute. It was disastrous, it was bad, but we kept going. At that point, everybody in my company, my employees, probably most of them had been with us for say at least 10 years. And they always thought that she was here to, just do this one project and nothing more than that, and she'd leave after this would be over. But then I realized that, I need to get into operations. So I thought that what is the best start? Let's start with sales. So I came from a finance background. I didn't know anything about the products we sold. I didn't know anything about documentation with the finance, or what export is or what import is. And that was like 95% of our business. I sat down, I go to office all excited, and I was like, okay, today let's get some orders. And I have this manager who's been working since almost like 10 years. And I asked him that, how do I take the freight rate, or how do I, whom do I talk to get prices? And he's telling me, "Madam, aap baat mat karo kisi se." I was like, "What?" He's like, "It's goof up."
No, no, there is a goof up.
Yeah, and he tells me that, it's not a safe environment, and, you're not meant, they won't take it right. And at first I thought they were very protective of me, because I was the daughter, and I was young, and I was just 23 back then. And I said, okay, fine. But then as time went ahead, and I didn't know what was happening, and I realized that I was talking to one of my suppliers. And I realized my manager wasn't comfortable with that idea. And he kept trying to listen to what I was saying. And I found that really fishy. And the next time when I was talking to another guy, he did the same thing. That's when I knew something was wrong and something's not right here. This is one guy my father put his heart and soul in. He trained him, he trusted him, he did everything. And I realized, and I've always been good with numbers, so I dived deep down into the books of accounts and what's happening. And to my notice, I realized that he was siphoning from the company, being such an integral part. He's telling my father, you're my God, and you made me who I am today, and he's stealing from the company. And I didn't know, because I was so new, and he handled the entire operation. So I was too scared to even tell this or voice it out to anybody else. But I gave him indirect hints, and he understood what I was talking about. But he played dirty. He realized that this is not going to go out any further. So he started going and brainwashing every single employee, saying that, oh, now, Apurva sir, my father, has her, and he doesn't need us, and she's going to replace us. So why should we work for him? Let's go and start our own company. We don't need them. We don't need whoever. And I didn't know what was happening. Every day we would get a resignation letter saying, I don't feel well enough. Another resignation saying, oh, I live too far, I cannot come to office. Or another resignation letter saying that some stupid reason which didn't add up. And he realized that he picked the best people from my company, and he started moving out. Sometimes they say you're so helpless and you don't know what to do. There was a day I was sitting in front of him and I'm crying. Can you please stay back for the sake of relationships, for the sake of trust that my father's put into you for so many years? How can you just abandon everything and go? And I realized it's just the ruthless world, and he left. It was a tough time. We didn't know what to do. Our best people were gone. It was a time of stress, anxiety, panic. I didn't know what was happening and I was 23. I realized I couldn't sit like this. So I had to take things in my hand. HR, let's do it. Sales, let's do it. Documentation, let's do it. How bad can it get, right? It got bad. I was thin and I am thin, but I lost 5 more kgs. So I think I was at the verge of anorexia. I don't think I've slept in nights because every morning I'm fearful that, oh shit, am I getting a resignation today? Are these guys still going and telling my clients that, oh, don't work with them, don't work with me? So I was in a constant shackle of fear. Dad was bad as well because he's looking at me and he's telling me, Anu, can you manage it? So then I was like, no, we need more hands. So I roped in my brother. I was like, I know you're working outside, but you need to come in. We need to set this out. While all of this was going on, bam, another goof up. Maybe this wasn't a goof up I made, but I was struck with a very bad tragedy in my own personal life. And I think professionally things were going down the drain. Personally, boom, another bam. Things just went down. I didn't know what to do. I was sad, I was anxious. I think that's when I got spirituality into my life. I thought that was the only source that was holding me forward and making me go ahead in life. And I met one person and we were talking about work and she told me that, I see you working so hard, but why are you doing it? Why are you trying so hard to make things work? If you like finance, why don't you go do that? And I told her that, no, I'm going to show these guys, what do they think of themselves? I'm better than them, they can't touch us. We've been here from the 1960s, from my grandfather's time. There was a lot of onus to doing things. And she told me that, you're never going to make it big. And I was like, why? Why won't I make it big? I'm working so hard. She's like, because your reasons are completely wrong. That these are not the right reasons why you need to grow your company. Where is your passion? Where is your passion to grow bigger? And I think I started realizing and reflecting to those ideas. And I saw one video by Elon Musk. And he's got like SpaceX, he's got Tesla, he's got all the best companies. And he can talk about everything he's doing, but he chooses to talk about how he wants to colonize Mars in the next 10 years. And I realized that I'm talking about what is happening right now and not focusing on where I want to be and where I want to go. Things changed for me. I started doing this. I started forgiving all these people with a whole heart. Every day, morning and evening, that thank you for doing this to me. Thank you for leaving. Thank you for making me the person I am today. If you all were there, I wouldn't know sales. I would just be another family business joint girl who would be dressing up and going to office, having lunch, having snacks and coming back. I would probably just be that person. But I realized that what the changes that they made, we hired a very, very good staff of people. Maybe Apar and I, my brother and I, both are young people. So we got a staff of really nice, good young people. Sure, we did fail ahead, but we failed forward. We made mistakes, we learned. And what really helped us is we started working with an abundant mindset. So I call this the cockroach theory. What we were doing first is we were like cockroaches, trying to survive and just like get through shit and just try not getting killed. We changed that. Instead of living in survival, we started living in a thriving atmosphere where we realized that we don't want to survive. I mean, that's for other people to do. We want to thrive. We got a team. We built the team. And we crossed targets we probably had never with these people. We changed the whole organization. We restructured everything. Of course, challenges come every single day, but that's a part and parcel of life. But I genuinely feel that this one goof up of trusting somebody, and I think we make this every single day, maybe in your personal life, maybe in your relationships. Trust is something that backfires and you don't know when it does. But what I've learned out of it is there is this guy called Michael Beckwith, and he's coined this beautiful word called the Kensho moment. So Kensho moments are moments of extreme pain that come into your life. And they come into your life just with the intention to shift or change the direction of your life. And the only question you need to ask is, I've failed or I've goofed up, but have I learned? And if you've learned and if you've grown, it's not even a goof up. Thank you.
Needy there, and you did fantastic. Thank you. So you had real goof ups in life.
Oh
right?
yeah, a lot of shit went down the drain.
So I'm still going to ask you the same question that I asked Meenu. One goof up throughout the journey.
Honestly, with running a business, there's just never one because you're goofing up all the time. You're learning through the process. So, I mean, this was one I spoke about, which was trust. But I feel like there just can't ever be one.
Enough learning for you?
A lot of learning. I don't think I would be half the person I am today if they wouldn't have left. And to tell you, the company flopped in 4 months. So yeah, they couldn't sustain more than 4 months.
Okay, alright. Okay, so I'm going to put the cute picture again. There we go. Any questions? Like Jitu, you're looking really serious. You're scaring me off. You got to smile a bit, please. You really got. And Arun, you too. You got to smile, man. I mean, show me your teeth. Even you're scaring them off, yeah.
They just want food right now.
They want food, yeah. Food is getting ready. It's getting on the table, so that's not a problem. So any questions, guys? Come on. Let's make this interactive. Maybe how many questions should I ask? There you can see.
This is my interest, right? So, what sort of food you are into? NHC Foods Limited. This is my interest.
NHC. That's a goof
sorry. Oh, okay.
The name is also a goof up.
Oh, okay. So it is more of fun time, huh?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, we are into agro commodities and spices.
Oh, agro commodities would be like what products?
In terms of like maize and sorghum, chili, turmeric, coriander, all the spices.
Oh, okay. And you are into domestic market or you are export also?
We export, we're into domestic, both.
Oh, okay. And when you say it is limited, it's a listed company?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Good.
So how will you say these goof ups are good for you, or it was? I'm sure it is definitely good for you. But then when you look back, how do you feel?
So case one, if this wouldn't have happened, like I told you, I would have run away in 2 months. I would have found that such a friendly atmosphere. I wouldn't have learned. I feel like at this age, I handle all the finances, all the bank meetings. I know from pick to piano of my company. So that definitely wouldn't have happened without this goof up. So it gave me a lot of experience, exposure, and made me who I am today.
So it's always good to have a goof up.
Of course, you need goof ups.
Correct.
Yes.
Alright, thank you very much.